Hi Alicia, it's Michelle. We've been having a lot of computer problems recently. I'm sure you guys are too, being Mercury and retrograde and all. It's Michelle of the Dog Psychic. I did a reading on Kiwi Walter, and it was, to me, hilarious. He's definitely got a cool personality, which I know you know. Right off the bat, when I saw his picture, it's the picture is really kind of shaded, so he looks a lot heavier than he is. I called him a fat little mischievous guy, and he got really upset with me about it, which was really entertaining to me. I did a very quick read, and he wanted it done and over with. He's very straight to the point kind of a guy, and he is mischievous. And a lot of this stuff is sassy to me and to you. So hang on, because he's a bossy guy. I'm sure you already know this. So he tells, I'm asking him what you need to know about him, and I don't know. I'm just going to read this, okay? So right off the bat, he told me that you, Alicia, you need to shit or get off the pot, is what he said. So I'm sure you know what that means. I don't dig into things on a personal level, because just like having a conversation with a person, you can go a mile deep into every statement, every question, everything. So he says, I've written down, he tells his mom to shit or get off the pot. And he makes me laugh when I'm reading him. I was laughing a lot, and it's like laughing at him, not with him, because he's so sassy. He's very, very easy to read. I got immediate information. I just went in to look at his picture because I was curious, and I wasn't planning on reading him until tonight. And then all of the sudden, I just was in this flow and writing it down. I didn't even have my video turned on at the time or anything. So, and he says, he gave me this visual of you talking to him, and he just went blah, 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 blah. People are talking to me all the time, and he said, just do something, will you? So he's very action oriented. I know you probably know this. And he's very crotchety. He has to me, when I was talking to him, he had like a grandfather type of energy. So I just tapped into that and I'm looking at my notes, is why I keep looking down. He was sent from your granddad. Now, I said, he's got a crotchety grandfather energy. And when I checked in, I heard sent by granddad. So whomever in your family lines was granddad, that's who sent him. He doesn't like to be doted on. It makes him want to get out of here. Like, he's just like, ah. Like, there was a lot of that noise. He reminded me, if you just set him free, he'd be like the littlest hobo. He'd be like, and he'd, have his little backpack on his back, and he'd just go off and do his thing and be like trotting down the highway, and people would be like, oh my God, there's a dog running down that, just that kind of an energy. He said, I'd be fine alone, although I'd miss her a bit. I'd be better off with no one to worry about me. So that means to me, you cannot worry about this dog. Like, if you're putting worry on him about anything, he's just going to push you away and become, I should say, the potential is there for him to just push you away. So think about that. So the more you dote on him and are all over him and talking to him, the more it looks like he will pull away. So be aware of that. The funny thing is, he says, and you're going to like this, when he's doing his little hobo thing, he said, shit, I might even eat some cats. Like, I will be so fine, and I will be trotting down the road, and I might even eat some cats. Like, he's just like that. So he says, those damn cats. And then he wanted to know what I was laughing at, because I was laughing at that. And of course, he doesn't see himself funny. And then the next piece is, he got literally pissed at me. I felt like a pissed off energy for getting distracted. I was just tearing a page out of my book that was over top of this, like, so I could keep it together. And he got mad at me for getting distracted, and he says, just like everyone else, so easily distracted. So again, that grandfather energy. And I picked up that he's got a bit of a split personality, and I had to muscle test it because I heard it and I didn't want to judge. So I muscle tested and it said yes, that he has a bit of a split personality. He really likes your laugh, and it makes him curious about laughter and fun because he is a very serious guy. So when you're laughing, he's like, what's going on over there? What was she laughing about? Like it's quite an interesting thing for him. The laughter is good for him. He doesn't like it that I've noticed and mentioned his weight. He says, I know, just leave me alone. Like, he's just like, just leave me alone. And I got a lot of that thing. And if you've been thinking about dental surgery, or if it comes up in the future, he says to not worry about it. And his quote is, it's not my bag. Like, it's not in his, like, deal in life to get mouth surgery. So if there's something going on in his mouth, probably don't freak out about it. Maybe find some more natural, holistic ways to be able to work through it, okay? And so with this whole dental surgery thing, I was doing a body scan at the time. So doing a body scan, I visualize the dog's body on my body, and I track pain, illness, disease, those kind of things. So, and I have a really good track record with this, with working with veterinarians and chiropractors and acupuncturists and stuff like that. So what I got from him when I did the body scan is he's really quite healthy. Like, I went through everything: bone, skin, skeleton, nervous system. I should just read it to you. I created a chart here, so I have this chart with all of this stuff on it. So I went through head, brain, neck, eyes, mouth, nose, jaw, shoulders, front legs, paws, toes, back legs, hips, stomach, pineal, pituitary, hypothalamus, thyroid, thymus, heart, liver, gallbladder, spleen, pancreas, kidneys, adrenals, colon, bladder, anal glands. I also went through all of the bones in his body and food allergies. So what I got was that his left hip is a little bit lower than his right hip. There's not any pain in it though. It's just a bit lower. And his stomach is a little bit bloated. So he'd benefit from some enzymes and probiotics. And I muscle tested that to make sure that he would benefit from them. And the only weakness in his own whole body was in his anal glands. Like, there's a little bit of a weakness in his anal glands, but everything else was strong. And then when I went through the bones, I wrote down here, watch his toe bones on his front right paw. There's no pain. It's just a bit of a weakness there. So you might notice something in the future and get kind of panicky about it. And you don't have to freak out about it. It's just a weakness. I muscle tested that CBD oil can be beneficial for him. So, and then when I went through the food allergens, which I have done a little section right here, so you can see it's not a huge section. I got these foods make him weak, so they test weak when I muscle test. No egg, no duck, no soy, no kangaroo, no celery, no blackberries, no watermelon. So if you ever give him those foods, maybe avoid them because they don't. His body tests weak for them. He actually tested strong with the carbohydrates. So potato, brown and white rice, oatmeal, wheat, spelt, and quinoa all tested positive, which is cool. I also asked him, I did a muscle testing thing and asked on what level from 1 to 10 that he was happy. So I'm going to do this to you. Dun, dun, dun. Just to freak you out a little bit. He was 8 out of 10 happy. So and I laughed, because I thought that's pretty good for a cranky dude. Like, he's 8 out of 10 happy, but he's just kind of, he is who he is. And then when I went into his lifetimes and I asked, like, how many lifetimes have you been with your human? And his response was, I don't even know what that means. Like, he just reacted like, I don't even know what it means. So I had to explain it to him And then he said to me, why didn't you just say so? And I was like, okay. So what I know to be true is you have to be very clear with him. Very, very clear. No wishy-washy stuff. Very clear. Which, as I'm saying it, I have a feeling that you're mostly like that with him. So that's important. And if you need to do something interesting, weird, or different with him, do what I'm doing and visualize it first. Like actually visualize whatever you're up to. So you visualize it as you're saying it to him. That's important. If you have any questions about that, you can just ask me. And then he told me that he does it for you. He does it all for you. And then he was like, So whatever it is in his life that you're asking him to do, he's doing it for you. Not because he really wants to or whatever, he's doing it for you, which, that's really nice of him. Funny guy. And then I wrote, the funny thing, he's really receptive to all my questions. And those questions were, I asked him how he chose to be supported, which I have a huge list here of, acupuncture, breathwork, craniosacral surgery, Bach flower, Chinese medicine, energy, magnetic therapy. It just goes on and on. It's quite a list. So when I asked him, he was like, nope, I don't wish to be supported. But I was curious, so I went through and muscle tested everything, like herbs, breath work, craniosacral, cartrophin. And he was just open to it all. So it's not, what I feel from that is it's not for you to study these things. Generally when dogs or animals are really receptive to this, it's because they want their humans to study it. But he's like, nah, I'm not interested. So that tells me that you don't need to be interested in it either. Okay? And then when I asked him about you directly, he says he likes to watch it when you do water walking. And I see you up to your knees in water. And so it's like here, you go to water and you walk in the water, like maybe with him. I just have an image of you walking in the water about up to your knees. And then I just got this hit that if you don't right now, water fitness would be a really good consideration for you, which at the very end, you'll be interested to see what tarot card or what, oracle card that I picked for you, asking him to choose a card for you. So I asked him if he knew how much he was loved, and I got this from him. Yeah. So that was funny. That was cute. And he told me, so I asked him, do you have a direct message for your human? And he said, I like her. Don't go change him. And then I just got he sounds to me like a real cowboy kind of a dog. Like if he were a person, he has this cowboy demeanor, like an older kind of a settled grandpa, kind of a cowboy. That's what he's like, which doesn't surprise me because of the breed that he is. That could be a whole new study for me. All right. So then he told me that he likes spending time with his dad. So now I couldn't actually see into whether you have a man in your life or not, which was interesting. I couldn't see into it. I just heard when I asked him if there's people that you like spending time with, he said, my dad. So, and it was my dad. So it was, you will know more about that and you would be able to confirm or deny or explain who that person is that he sees as a father figure. Okay? Please do. I love feedback. It's so fun. And then he wanted to get this over with. He was like, I just want to get this over with. And he has a very, very fast energy. And that's why I'm right now, even doing, reading it back, because I go back into the vibration, which is really fun. So I always like to pull 1 to 3 cards at the very end of the reading. Generally, I have the person choose a number. And I have a bunch of decks, so I'll say between deck 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, tell me what deck you want, and then what number. And I generally will ask them to ask the cards that are for themselves, to ask their higher self. So if I had you in front of me right now, that's what we'd be doing. And then the last card, I ask for it to be a message straight through the animal that we're working with. So the very first card that I got for you was in this beautiful new deck that I've got. This is the book. It's a girl named Rebecca Campbell. Let's see here. It's called Work Your Light Oracle Cards Guidebook. And the artist is apparently from Gabriel Island. So that's kind of cool. So, oh, you're probably eager. You probably don't care about any of that. The card is Leap. All right, so it's a girl here leaping off the side of a mountain. And she's not like leaping off to kill herself. She's leaping off into the moon. And it says, you go first, the universe will catch you. So what that means is this. Life bends for the courageous. The universe wants to support you, but first you need to leap, to throw your life up in the air. Perhaps you know what you're being called to do or to leap away from, but you're scared to make the move. Or perhaps you're waiting for a big fat sign or an instructional manual or permission to do so first. If this is you, then this card is your sign and permission slip to take a deep breath and to leap into the unknown. It's scary to let go of all that we know and hope for something new, and it's normal to feel anxious at the thought of letting go of what we know for sure. But this is an unavoidable process of rising. And right now, that's what you're being called to do. Nature is constantly showing us how to live with courage. Fall comes every year and encourages the trees to loosen their grip, to allow that what was once so full of life to fall away leaf by leaf. For a moment, it feels like nothing will ever grow again. The branches are left bare without the comfort of what once was, but in the morning of the spring, new shoots begin to appear, and something new is born that is even more glorious than before. So what is this saying? I'm sure you know what it's saying. It's saying that it might be a little uncomfortable at first, and you might feel like, nothing good's going to happen, but it's going to, and it's going to be better than before. Now, I had a psychic tell me this years and years ago. She said, Michelle, you need to let go of your baby, because what's on the other side is so much more fun and filling than what you're doing right now. And I loved my dog training business, loved it. Was kind of an addict to it actually, but it was wearing me thin, like so thin. Like I'd been worn thin 9 years before I ever shut it down. And now doing this kind of work with the animal communication and the cards and the classes and courses, it brings me alive. So I see that you're being asked to do something similar. So your light work action is you go first. Take a good run and leap. So, and then when I picked up my past life deck, which is super cool, and I don't know if you know this or not, but in medical science, they have proven that they can't say that past life stuff doesn't exist. Like, so there's now so much studies and so much information backing up past life stuff. So this deck is from, it's called the Past Life Oracle Cards. Ooh, there you go. It's by Doreen Virtue, who I've done courses with, and Dr. Brian Weiss, who I've done courses with. Both of them a few times, actually. And I went through the deck. I was just like flipping through the deck until one just flew out. And that's how I picked both of your cards, is when one just like flung itself out at me. So I didn't hear a number, I didn't hear stop, I just went through itself at me. So this is the card that I got, my friend, from your dog. A direct message from him about why he's in your life and what's going on for you. That says health, okay? In case you can't read backwards. So now I'm going to read that to you. Your relationship to health and healing is influenced by other lifetimes. You may be suffering from a physical problem that was inflicted upon you during your last life. Perhaps you reincarnated so quickly that you didn't have time to deal with underlying issues. Your physical health has caused you hardship, yet it's also taught you a deeper level of compassion that you could have learned in a healthy body. You've also developed healing skills that can benefit others. In fact, you might already know that you're a healer. This knowledge was acquired in previous lifetimes when you performed healing for others. Back then, your earthly needs were likely taken care of by the community, so you may struggle with the idea of charging money for healing work in this life. It's helpful to know that in this current Western society, everyone must charge for their work, including those who provide spiritual-based services. So, there you go. So, and if you'd like to, Alicia, wherever you are. Yes, so So I'm so professional. Well, I have a lot of fun with my clients. I cry. I blow my head off with my clients. With really sick animals, I can be sick for hours afterwards. It's really intense doing this, but I've got it to the point where I know that I'm a conduit for the time, and I now know how to shut off the person or the animal that I've read before, so to not take on too much. But in saying all of that, what I'd like to offer you, if you want to play at some point, anytime in the next year, because it might not be right away. I have a sense that you're like, yeah, don't need it. It's okay. I have a sense that you know who you are. I have a sense that you're a strong woman and you know who you are. So if and when you feel that you would benefit from a full life reading, I'd be happy to do a 10-card read with you. We can do it on Facebook chat. We can do it on Skype. We can do it on the phone. It's generally fun to see the cards, but I also take photos of them afterwards and send them to people if we're just doing it online. So there is a very quick read from your dog. I'm pretty sure that's all you needed to know. He's very straightforward and to the point. But if you do have questions, what I do is I ask people to wait 3 days after they've watched and listened to the reading, because sometimes the information comes in a couple of days. It doesn't always come right away. It doesn't always make sense until you're like, oh, like recently I was like, Pepper does have a floppy ear, his right ear, because one of a psychic picked up something about my dog's floppy ear, and I'm like, yeah, no, he doesn't. So, and funny thing, I'm looking right here at a picture of my family dog, who I believe Pepper to be, and in the picture, her right ear is flopping. So it all comes in layers. It just, nothing in life all comes at once. Otherwise our heads would explode. So in saying that, thank you for letting me play with your little Kiwi Walter. That was fun. And I don't know, let me know how this all feels for you and how it turns out. I'm sure I will see you when I'm there. And if you have any questions or concerns, just contact me. And I extend this service to everybody. Sorry if I was making you feel really special and then told you that I extend it with everybody, but that's how I do. Okay, so blessings, and have fun with your boy. He's a cool little dog. Okay.